Welcome back, guys, to Steven's DIY Auto Repair. Alright guys, so today we're going to be doing an oil change on my 2017 Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat, as well as my 2004 Toyota Camry. But this video is not about how to do an oil change, but instead it's about oil. Good old oil. So we're going to be talking about oil today. Okay guys, so today we're going to be talking about oil, and we're going to start with the brands. So you have multiple brands. We have Pennzoil. I personally just like Pennzoil. They're not sponsoring this video. I always buy this with my own money, but I just prefer Pennzoil. So there's a lot of good ones out there. Mobil One, Quaker, bunch of different ones out there. Usually cars don't really specify the brand. Sometimes some brands are tied to cars for sponsorships or whatever the reason, so that car manufacturer will actually push that brand. And my 2017 Charger Hellcat actually wants you to use Pennzoil Sae 0W40, and it's specifically designed for SRT engines. So you don't necessarily have to use this one. I know this was hard for me to find at times, so there was times that in my wife's Charger I actually used it was Pennzoil, and it was the 0W40, but it just wasn't the SRT one. It was actually for the European ones, but it works just the same. So going with the brand names, brands are not important. You do want a high quality oil from a known manufacturer like Pennzoil, Mobil One, etc. What does count is these numbers here, and we'll get to that in a minute. But you also have, let's see if we can find it on here. This is full synthetic, and ultra platinum full synthetic. We also have full synthetic here. So you usually have three types of oil. You have conventional, you have a blend, and then you have a synthetic. So your conventional it's been refined from crude oil, and it contains impurities. Your synthetic oil, however, it's gone through additional chemical engineering processes, and it's got more sustainable molecules. Okay, so what does conventional and full synthetic mean without going into too much detail? So conventional, let's just say it's dug out of the ground, and full synthetic is basically manufactured in a lab. Let's just put it that way. And then your blend is obviously just, you could take a tad bit of full synthetic and drop it in conventional, and now it's called a synthetic blend. So that's basically what it is. So before we get into the numbers, like I said, this I prefer to use the specified Pennzoil SRT oil for my Hellcat, especially for my Hellcat, and this was very hard to find at times. My local auto parts stores never had it, and if they did, they only had about maybe 3 or 4 quarts if I was lucky. So it takes 7, and 3 or 4 obviously wasn't going to cut it. And then when I was going to the dealership to actually buy this stuff, it was like 12 bucks a quart. I was walking out of there $75, $85 at times for 7 quarts, and it was just getting too much. And for whatever reason, I didn't think about it. I buy stuff on Amazon all the time, and I finally woke up, looked at this on Amazon, and found it. And because I'm a Prime member, and I have the subscribe and save, I usually can get this between $40 at the cheap end for 6 quarts, up to about maybe $50, even $55 sometimes for 6 quarts. Compared to 75 and 85, I'll take it all the time. So now we're going to move on to what does these numbers mean. So a lot of times we say 5 weight 30, but this W actually stands for winter. So it would be 5 winter 30. So weight sounds a little bit better, or if just 5W30 probably sounds even better. Alright guys, so like I was saying, 5 weight 30, 5 winter 30, 5W30. Whatever, right? What matters is these numbers. So where can you find these numbers? How do you know what your car takes? Well, it's on your, most of the times, 99% of the times, it's on your oil cap, and it'll tell you 0W40 or 5W30. Or you can check your owner's manual. So it's also always there. Okay guys, so what does this mean? 5W30. So basically it's the viscosity rating of the specific oil you're using. So what is viscosity? It's basically oil's resistance to flow, and that's viscosity. So how well does it flow? Okay guys, so we're going to start with the W number. So the number to the left of the W, the lower the number is, the better it performs in the cold, or the cold weather, or when the engine's cold. The number to the right is the rating at operating temperature. The higher the number, the thicker the oil. The lower, the thinner the oil. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. So we also have my oil here for this is for my Hellcat, and this is actually for my Toyota Camry. And this one is a 0W40. So the number on your left is the cold rating, the cold viscosity rating, and the number to your right is the hot viscosity rating. And the way they do this is basically, without going too much into it, and there's various ways to actually do this test to even give the oil a rating, but basically you're just pouring it at different temperatures, and from it when it gets to one point to the other, and they time it, and that's kind of how you get your viscosity rating. So basically it's pumpability. Now the reason why this is important to use the specific rating of viscosity for your specific car is because the engine has such tight tolerances in the mechanics of it. The pistons going up and down, oil flowing from the bottom of the pan, being pumped up all the way up to the top of the engine. There's such microscopic, what's the word I'm looking for? I got a brain fart there, you guys. Anyway, there's such tight tolerances that this oil has to be between spaces like 0.0001 inch. So it's very, very tight tolerances that this oil has to get through and get to go from the bottom to the top. So if you're putting something in that's a heavier oil, it's going to be harder for that pump to pump it up all the way through those tight little tolerances to get to the very top. And if you don't get enough oil to the top or to the bottom or in those spaces where you have metal on metal contact, so you want to make sure you use the specified viscosity rating in your vehicle, because like I said, if you try to use something heavier or lighter, you could potentially destroy your engine that way. Some people think, oh, it's going to be colder, so let me put in a thinner oil or a thicker oil, and that could have very negative effects on your engine, and it could really damage your engine, and you'll be out an engine. So unless your vehicle specifies different oils for different temperatures, stick with what it says. So hopefully that gives you guys a little insight on oil. So we're going to stop talking about oil for now, and we're going to touch real quick on oil filters because it goes together with oil. So this one's going to be for my Camry, and this is for my Hellcat. Same thing, same principles apply. Brand doesn't really matter. I prefer K&N for my Hellcat. It's pretty cool because it has this nut welded to the bottom, so it's easier to take off. And this is just a Fram. So this one has a special grip at the bottom to help you give it some grip. So what I want to really touch on here is, let me see, hopefully you guys can see in there. See that little black piece in there? So that's a check valve. So a decent oil filter is going to have that check valve. Hopefully you guys are able to see that. So basically what that is if for some reason your filter gets clogged, that will release and allow oil to continue to circulate in your engine and not build up pressure in here and possibly blow this off or damage your housing or your engine for that matter. So as the oil comes into these little holes here, it gets filtered with the filter media in here, and then it comes through this middle area. So without a quality filter, you could potentially have some damage going on if for whatever reason this gets clogged up. So this is Fram's medium grade filter, I believe, and dropping stuff. And this is K&N's, one of their highest quality filters. See that blue in there? That's also a check valve. So hopefully you guys can see that. So I just want to make that clear. You guys want to make sure to get a quality filter for your vehicle that has that check valve in there. Now some of the cheaper ones, they do, from Fram, they have check valves in them. But not knocking on chain lube stores. I'm not going to mention their names, but chain lube stores, you don't always get the quality oil and filter in those places. You know, they charge very little, but because they have gallons of oil at wholesale, and they get probably 100 oil filters for 25 cents. They're just very cheap, very, very low quality, and that's how they can sell you an oil change for very little, because they're not making much money off profit. They're not making much profit off of labor, but they're making it off their oil filters and their oil. So when you go to those places, you want to make sure that you're getting a high quality filter and oil, because most of the time you're getting whatever was the cheapest on sale from their wholesaler. And trust me, I've seen cars that had these really cheap oil filters that had no check valve, and some of them were there was a Charger RT that I actually did an oil filter that I did an oil change on, and it was supposed to be the size of this K&N, similar. It was similar to the size of this, and they actually had a size of this on there. Now the thread fit, but look at this. Now some can argue, well, it's fine, but the way I see it, you have oil pressure for a reason, and this being it smaller, I feel like you're going to have a lot higher oil pressure, which is could probably eat into your bearings and all that stuff. Who knows? Maybe not. That's just my theory on it, and that's why I wanted to mention that. So enough rambling on. hopefully that helps you guys understand oil and some quality oil filters. So when you guys do an oil change, you know what to look for. Alright guys, I hope you liked this video. If you guys did, make sure to hit that like button. If you guys would like to be notified when I put out another video, make sure to hit that bell notification. And as always guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more informational video and DIY projects. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. So and as always guys, until next time, have a good one.